Scorpio, welcome to Illuminated Tarot. My name is Jenna. Today I'm here to do a reading for you for October. We're going to take a look at your overall general energy, what you may not see coming, and get some important advice from spirits. I hope you're all doing well. I'm reading for you on a Friday morning. Hope you have a good weekend, or if you're already in the weekend, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're enjoying it. We've got a couple days before this Aries super full moon. We're still integrating some of these post-eclipse activations around what we are being called to release from the past. This is happening to everyone. I have not had a reading yet. We'll see. I'll probably jinx myself now, but every reading so far has had, and about halfway through the October readings, has had the Judgment card, which is karma, and the changes that we're making because of our spiritual lessons. And are we learning them? Are we feeling like we're going through a little bit of a setback because of them? Are we plowing through what we need to learn in order to evolve? So where are you at, Scorpio, with all that? Thank you, Spirit, for presiding over this reading for Scorpio. I feel like you're kind of like recollecting. I heard recollecting, or kind of like taking a pause to collect your thoughts. All right. What are some of the energies, the strongest incoming energies for Scorpio for October? We got 3 that wanted to come out here. We have, shadow work and water. There you go, your water element and magic. Woo! It looks like you're purifying a lot of your emotions at this time, maybe around the past. Because whenever we look at shadow work, we look at, the things that we see in others, their shadows, the things that we see in ours. It's that delicate dance of looking at our egoic patterns. And it's not a negative thing, you all. It's something that is part of our spiritual work. And feels like there's this subdued energy coming off of you where you're almost learning about how you participated and someone else participated in a dance of shadow. You could be doing this now through the month of October, where what you're learning right now or have recently learned, you're going to be applying that in order to create more peace, more harmony in your water element, in your emotions, and creating more magic, as a result of graduating from, basically a class in shadow work, right? This is also when we integrate a fair bit of our shadow, and we've learned the lessons in that phase, and we're going to the next class, right? This is like maybe you've been dealing with, you're in the phase of, the graduate coursework, right, of shadow work. Some of you've been doing it for a long time. Others of you, this is kind of new for you. Wherever you are on the path, there's a lot of magic happening for you. And whatever's coming up for you, I feel like when you trust yourself and you've already completed a fair bit of, self-mastery, self-awareness, you don't balk at it. You don't shy away from it. You actually welcome it, because you're going to allow yourself to integrate more of your light the more you accept and integrate your shadow. So I like it. This is big, very big, because, Scorpio, you came here to experience these, micro deaths. It's funny because when you're going through a major change, it's a huge deal. But then if you, like 20 years ago, it was big to you. But now looking back at what has happened to you 20 years ago, it's not that big. So it's like you're taking a different perspective, maybe of your shadow in general. And it's like it's important to you to transform, but I'm getting like it's not as serious or as hard as it once was, because you've been on the path a while for a lot of you. From the numerology, we have 5, 6, and we have 5, 5 with 6. So there could have been some significant changes in a particular connection or connections for you in the recent past. You're seeing the light, right, of the shadow. And now you're ready to go through this new portal where you're manifesting more magic. And you're deepening as a result. I like it. All right. Really pay attention to your emotions. That's where you're making the magic happen, Scorpio. Because you're an emotional being, right? Being a water sign. Ooh, Page of Wands, Ace of Cups. Something's exciting happening. I'd say you're feeling more abundant. You could be feeling more playful in the month of October. Where's your current? Ooh, you're coming out of maybe a bind here. 8 of Swords, where maybe you had to speak about something or release something, set yourself free in a situation. Crossed by the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like there's some new opportunity. You're going in a new direction, and it's just a real tangible offer. Something's being given to you here, and it's basically like, the universe is giving you some relief in the month of October, where if you have felt a little stuck or heavily burdened or, difficulty in speaking up about your needs or your wants, feel like you're feeling more empowered, and you have a new opportunity here. I like it, to come out of feeling burdened or stuck. Ooh, yeah, Knight of Wands. It's something that's exciting you. It could be a passion project, a new hobby. It could be somebody who's interested in you, where you're going to be going maybe deeper into passion with them. Knight of Wands is a fun energy. I love this as the overall general energy because you're fired up about something in your life in the month of October, and your opportunity is the King of Pentacles. Some of you, this is a new opportunity in your career, or it could be with somebody who has heavy earth placements, okay? This could be you embodying more grounded energy, moving through life, just feeling, I know who I am, I have a lot to offer, I know my value and my worth, but you're taking action from that place, because kings always are the ones taking action. This could be someone coming towards you in your opportunity, taking action, saying, you know what, I want to invest in you, and I am curious about you, all right? Or I have desire for you. Or it could be you moving into a new desirable direction in your work life. 8 of Cups, I like it. Scorpio, you're turning your back on some emotional baggage, letting some things go. However you're doing that, keep doing it, because we have 8-8 here. It's like you're close. I feel like a lot of us, and this is for everyone, we're closing out a cycle of growth overall, where whatever we contended with, hopefully, right? And I know everyone watching this, I can say this, you've learned a lot of spiritual lessons along the way. And you're not going to hold on to the ick, right? You're not going to perpetuate the negative, lower vibrational energies. As a result, you're seeing above it all, right? And you're honoring it because you've been integrating more of that shadow here that I saw in the outset. I like it. Your challenge is to let go of old stuff, right? Power wash your life here. Power wash your heart center. And just absolve yourself of any ill will towards anyone, okay? Just let go. That's what this feels like. Just let go. And that's the challenge. Let go, because the more you let go of anything that's happened, the story, you root and ground in your own frequency, and you put more of your energy into that, all right? Into your own vibrational material realm, all right? With that King of Pentacles. Or if don't worry about past stuff when it comes to anyone you're dealing with. Ooh, near future, we have the 5 of Pentacles. There could be a little bit of financial worry or concern going on that you're cleaning up, because I see, or you have somebody around you that is impacting you in some way. What you don't see coming. 8 of Wands, Temperance, 6 of Swords. You're being led and guided in your intuition this month to really deepen in your spiritual practices, where you're really paying attention to the signs and synchronicities that Spirit's sending your way. All right, really pay attention this month to the little nudges, right? I think that they're going to be like little talismans of hope that get you excited about what's coming in next for you. Because it does seem like you're moving past a situation, and in order for you to come back into balance, and you're being led and guided to leave something behind, okay? It could be an old way of behaving. It could be an old contract. It could be, it could be anything, okay? I'm not going to speculate, but whatever you're leaving behind, it's for the greater good, because your High Priestess is saying it's justified, okay? It's justified. And that's why you're releasing some baggage. Maybe somebody made you feel hurt, left out, or you have someone around you that feels left out in the cold by you. But I think it's time for you're getting the signs to come out of feeling trapped in a situation and to move on. All right. We have 4 cards actually, of moving on, if you want to talk about it. All of these cards indicate moving on from a person, place, or thing. Okay. And that's what they're all telling you. And then you have your High Priestess saying, yes, you need to move on from this so you can come back into balance. Okay, Scorpio, let's leave that here. That was there. Let's go back to the Knight of Wands, 8 of Cups. All right. What are you working on manifesting? Other than more magic, cleansing your emotional waters, having done shadow work. You did some sort of shadow dance with somebody. I think you're learning from it. You could just be doing a lot of integration work in October around your past, so you can align with a happier, more magical future. Learning from it. All right, not repeating, past lessons. Knight of Wands. Forgive. Okay. Yep. I open my heart to forgive myself and others. Wow. That's really beautiful. And we have another 6. So we have 5, 5, 6, 6. Yeah. It's so important because when we don't forgive, we actually hold on to the pain. And it actually is harder on us than it is on anyone who created that pain. So I feel like you're being called to forgive. All right. That's what you've been manifesting all along. So you can actually open up to new dreams. When we forgive too, it frees us. It emancipates us. And I feel like that's what you're doing. Once you truly forgive, you actually set your sight on a whole new timeline. That's the Ace of Pentacles. So we have dream. I am ready to receive my dreams. And then the last one, expanding consciousness. I love this, Scorpio. I welcome expansion and connection in all forms. It looks like through the dance of shadow, there could be, an end of an era in a connection, but also a birth of a connection or a deepening of a different connection. You're definitely going through a lot of changes in your expansion here around your own elevation in your consciousness through the path of shadow work and purifying your emotional waters and letting go. It's time to forgive something so you can really receive your dreams. I like this. It's like, I feel too, whenever I see this, it's like your future self through the, almost like an invisible wall here. And you're tapping in to your future self in the month of October. And I think you're going to have some beautiful dreams coming in the wake of leaving something behind. All right, let's go into this tarot and clarify, shall we? Knight of Wands. Powerful movement forward. Exciting new direction you're going in. All right. Maybe some of you got a motorcycle. Enjoying your fall rides or your spring rides, wherever you are. Zoomy. Let's see this Knight of Wands. Or someone around you maybe is taking you on motorcycle rides. That's for maybe one of you. Or a handful of you. I used to have several, actually. I don't anymore. When I grew up more in the sticks. I didn't grow up in the sticks. I was a military kid. But yeah, they're great. They're a lot of fun. I said stop there. Okay, yeah. Whew. You've been clearing up some stuff, haven't you? We have the Five of Pentacles traditionally is this feeling of like helping those less fortunate or feeling like down and out. It could be something that you have felt or someone around you has felt. And the Seven of Pentacles is traditionally a card of really evaluating whether you want to continue putting energy towards something. And the Moon is like, I don't know. I don't know. It's almost like staying in a certain place for too long when the expiration date is past due is only going to delay your progress. I feel like you're being guided to move forward. Take what you've learned, right? Which Seven of Pentacles is a heavy karmic card, especially around rejection. Whether you rejected someone else or you felt rejected by another person or others. There's a lot in the subconscious that stirs up. And I think that you're learning a lot about that pattern. And I think that that's the lesson, right? The spiritual lesson, the shadow work is around rejection in general and learning about how that's impacted your path and your feeling of worth and your perception of other people. And are you open to forgiving people who have done that to you? Can you really, because once you graduate from forgiving those sets of people or that one person, you free yourself from that lesson. So I see that you're doing just that this month. You may have already done it for some of you. And now you're like, wow, this whole new portal of magic has opened up because I don't have anything weighing me down from people's past actions towards me that I chose. That's the thing that you realize when you're on the spiritual path for very long, that we choose all this, whether it's conscious or unconscious, we choose it all. And then if you're really looking at everything, you welcome it because it's going to bring you closer to the light of your own inner sun, your own soul. It's really this really incredible dance. That's how I see shadow. It's really the parts of you that you deny, where you deny your own light. By saying, oh, I'm even going to latch onto someone who is emotionally unavailable and expect them to really give me something they don't even have. And then you're going to get rejected. But then it was a setup. So it's like when you start to look above a situation in hindsight, usually, not during. And during, it's a mess. But I feel like you're moving past a rejection wound in general. And either if you're having to reject something, or it's maybe sometimes in a lot of situations, it's mutual. Eventually, two people will reject each other when it's no longer aligned. And then if you can accept that and forgive everything that happened that led to that endpoint, it's a beautiful thing. It's called dropping the baggage. And that's the challenge. King of Pentacles. Let's look at your opportunity. So big, deep work you're doing or have been doing around forgiveness and expanding your consciousness, Scorpio. Knight of Cups, Queen of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. Okay, now, but the thing about rejection, the thing about wounds is that they will speak loudly and they will perpetuate anxiety and fear when you open back up again because there's stuff in there, right? You stored it for later. So I do see that this month your opportunity is to welcome an opportunity to root and ground in something you've attracted, but you're also saying it creates a lot of anxiety for you at the same time. So this is when we need to be so rooted and grounded in our own practices that when we start to feel pings of anxiety around someone else's behavior, we really ask why it's happening. And then we have to ascertain whether it's something that we want to stay invested in. You're definitely looking at something that is triggering something in you this month. And you're like, this is causing me anxiety. And should I continue to put energy toward it? I'm drawn to it. I think too, you may have a tendency to overthink love in general, or because Knight of Cups for me, it's always about romance. And we have two people here. One person is like really trying to look at the bigger picture. The other person's really, really just excited. And there's stress. I would say when it comes to your opportunity, especially around another individual, all right, Scorpio, whether it could be someone with fire, it could be somebody with earth, we have every element here. This is like, you're almost showing me here, you're really trying to ground in your day-to-day reality, in your routine. That's your physical life. Trying to, appear like I got it all together. You're trying to keep your heart open, God is willing. When it comes to other people, Queen of Wands, your fire is like lit, like you're like really glowing up. And then, but your air is like overthink. So Spirit is saying, get out of your head. Get out of your head. Literally, like get out of your head, which is move your body. Move your body. Do things that actually inspire you. I think you've got a love opportunity, but love maybe stresses you out, Scorpio. Okay? Or you have somebody around you that's feeling this way. So your opportunity is to try to fan the flame of love instead of doubt and worry. All right? Because Nine of Swords is really stressing out about someone where there's feelings involved here. And I think for you, it's about really staying and coming into balance and maintaining that balance. But when your mind starts to kick up, really look at it like you would watching a movie. If you're watching you and your mind was actually another energy, another person, and you were watching that conversation on a screen and it was just you and the audience, what would you say about that? What would you say about your mind saying those things? And that's what it means to really observe oneself. And once we start doing that, we can actually step outside of that, because your mind might get out of control at times in the month of October. And Spirit's saying, don't do that to yourself. It's like your worst fears or someone else's worst fears could actually sabotage really enjoying, love and desire. So someone may have some deep insecurities here. And it could be because of past stuff, abandonment wounds. Okay. They're real, whether you have them or someone else has them. What's the 8 of Cups? 8 of Cups, which is your challenge, right? Letting go of past baggage so it doesn't cloud your judgment or someone else's judgment. I feel like I can't tell who's who here. I cannot tell. 10 of Wands. Hangman. 7 of Swords. Wow. Okay. This is like when we need to take a minute, but you don't always trust. It's like when we have maybe some hypervigilance and we want answers right now, but the answers aren't going to come. And then it puts pressure on our situation. So I feel like your challenge is like when something gets triggered, really, you've learned the art, right, of probably not jumping to conclusions because the mind's going to jump way beyond the situation and project so much. So I'm glad you're watching this reading because you may have a tendency or someone around you has a tendency to overthink and sabotage something, okay? Something good. And I think that if you can learn to trust the pause of actually surrender, all right, which is Piscean. The challenge is surrender, pause. It's hard. It's so hard because basically you may have a trigger with another where wounding is coming up and it's almost like on repeat, the way two people are responding to each other. So what I've found when it comes to this situation, this is shadow work itself, is really, really not reacting in that moment and giving yourself a moment to actually collect your thoughts. And it's interesting because the first time, I think you're learning that the value of a pause, not to delay intentionally as a tactic, as a strategy to, if someone's doing that as an avoidant technique, then yes, that needs to be addressed. But there is nothing wrong with saying, hey, I need a minute. Can we talk about this tomorrow? I do care very much about resolving this, but I need to collect my thoughts. There's nothing wrong with that. And there are ways you can actually, have a word. You can even have a word between you and someone else that when someone says that word, it's truce time. Okay, let's not talk about it right now. We need to come from a more calm perspective. Because I see here this, if you're willing, right, to pause and to drop whatever's coming up and arising within you and observe the mind, you're going to be putting into what I'm saying this for, you're going to come back to this and go, because you could have a trigger that gets hit this month around someone that you're dealing with. And you want to respond appropriately. That doesn't perpetuate a negative domino. Because I see here that it's time for you to drop some baggage, right? And see things from a different perspective. Because there could be some trust issues coming up around just conflict resolution in general. And you feeling not heard or validated or seen and recognized in a situation with someone. All right? Very specific, but I feel like if you can employ those techniques, it will help out a lot. Yeah, because there's some sort of battle or competition or struggle here. We have the 5 of Wands over the 5 of Pentacles. 3 of Wands. There's the pause. I'm telling you, it is the most amazing thing if you can actually pull away from someone when you're triggered and not perpetuate the trigger. Because sometimes we want to overanalyze something and make your point, your case heard, right? Deliberate. But there's a time and a place where, because chances are, most of the time when people are triggered, they're not going to hear you. They're going to be angry. They're going to be upset. So I feel like you're trying to not only perpetuate an abandonment wound in self or other, you're actually trying to figure out how to problem solve and resolve conflict where you are actually learning peaceful resolution. Yeah. I also think that you've had a conflict with somebody and you it's like this 5 of Pentacles feels to me like there's somebody that you've learned a lot from around this. And there's a time to pause and there's a time to initiate action. And I feel like your journey, see here, look, this is all fire energy. Look at that. All fire. We actually have the 5 plus the 3 plus the 1. Okay. So that's 5 plus 4, which is the 9 of wands. And you're at the 10 here in your challenge. So I feel like you could be dealing with a pattern, okay, of relating to others. It could be multiple people or one person, of not abandoning yourself in conflict, but also really when it comes to speaking up, there's this need here. The 3 of wands is staying positive and hopeful. The 5 of wands is going through a challenging time where you feel like you're kind of having to defend yourself, you know, like, oh, you know, I got my wand. They're sparring, they're playing, but they're also like learning as they go. So this is really about loss and abandonment and victimhood and all these things that we talk about in lack, right? And scarcity. And so I feel like you're being challenged this month to look at a wound that you've carried, shadow, or someone else, and say, you know what? I'm gonna actually be divinely inspired to really look at this and change. And I think you're inspiring someone to change, and they're inspiring you to change. This is like when we are being called upon to speak from right relationship with ourselves and others. And I feel like you're going in this really beautiful new direction. I do think that you were challenged by somebody that you've had to leave behind, and you're taking those lessons and you're applying them into a current situation. And you've learned how to pause. You've learned how to like give yourself a minute so you don't overreact or they don't overreact. And I feel like you're going to actually have this really deep, I mean, the Ace of Wands too, this could be you having competition in work and needing to distance yourself and protect your new ideas and go in a different direction. Some of you are like, I'm done. I have a new desire. I want to go in a new direction in my career. I've got to walk away from this. I don't trust that this is going to give me the happiness I seek anymore. All right. It's like you really are evaluating making a decision to pivot in a new direction, whether that's a new direction in the way you deal with conflict, a new direction in learning lessons of abandonment around a past situation, or a new direction in how you might be abandoning your hopes, dreams, and values for a paycheck and having to put in, right? There's nothing wrong with like doing your day job and then putting time and energy on nights and weekends into a passion project that you hope will be monetized, that will carry you into a new career. So Scorpio, I feel like there's a lot going on for you this month. No wonder you're like, hold on, okay? This is about where you're going to put your energy, your time and attention, right? In a new opportunity that's going to take you in a new direction, where you're going to be applying growth of the past into the future. It's just about forgiving the past, forgiving people, what you've had to contend with, opening up into your new dreams and wish fulfillment. You're being led and guided in a new direction here. You're going to be seeing the signs and synchronicities. You got to trust your intuition. But what this is all about for you is coming into balance with your life and being patient with this big change, all right? Whether you're ending one contract, opening up into a new one when it comes to your romantic life, or an old friend to a new friend, or an old career in a new career endeavor. Let's look at this High Priestess, 8 of Wands, 6 of Swords, Temperance. So I feel like there's like this microcosm, like conflict resolution, healthy conflict resolution 101, but also this bigger picture energy going on. But I feel like if you learn to really appreciate the pause, it will help a lot. I feel like too, you might have this really incredible opportunity this month to help someone else with their self-doubt by your sturdiness, by your resolute, personal power, where it's like, I know what I want, and I know that this is, it's like, don't waver in what you know about a situation. You could be helping someone else with their own self-doubt and their own self-worth. All right. It might not be even your journey here I'm talking about. It could be someone you're really closely associated with. There you are, Scorpio. We got the death, transformation. Wow. This is big. This is a big, big turn. I feel like you've got a soulmate connection coming in that you're heading straight toward. We got the 2 of Cups And it's life-changing, okay? Whenever I see this energy, I mean, 2 of Cups, the Wheel, and the Death. Yeah. Some of you, this is like closing up one cycle, ending a connection with somebody, and then opening up into a new love cycle. Or it could be with the same person, where you're opening up into a new love cycle with someone where you're learning how to settle in this new energy. And it's in the way you communicate and coming from a balanced perspective, coming from your higher mind, your wise mind, when you relate. Well, where am I at? I think that's 30. I'm doing good. So let love rule, Scorpio. I feel like you've got a beautiful soulmate in your life, and there's some powerful changes happening with this person. I mean, we got the Wheel and the Death, okay? This isn't the end. This is the beginning of a whole new timeline with someone, all right? Where you're really learning and growing together. If this is somebody new, it does look like we have, a new opportunity, right? To go in a passionate new direction where you're kind of like fighting off an old abandonment rejection wound. You or this person you're dealing with. And this is when we need to trust and love again. I love it. Or deepening in a bond where you've had some challenges in seeing eye to eye and a lot of stress and anxiety if you've been with someone for quite a while. I think you're really learning how to grow and expand your consciousness and forgive, like whatever's gone on in the recent past for you, Scorpio. Looks beautiful to me. All right. I feel like you're strong and sturdy this month in a new vibrational frequency where you've done a lot of shadow work and you've integrated that. And now you're applying those lessons. Let's get an angel guide for you moving forward, Scorpio. But I love it. Feels like there's a lot of beautiful love coming in for you. Maybe you didn't expect this, Like you don't have to be on guard, right? You don't have, it feels like because of the work you've done, it's time to trust the work, right? That you've done on yourself. Trust yourself more, Scorpio. Oh, wow. Romance and connection. No one's gotten this yet, Scorpio. Are you in the mood for romance? I do see it. Don't overthink romance, okay? This month. Let's see what the angels have to say. You've got an angel of romance and connection coming in. And I gotta take a sip of my moon coffee. I've been talking a lot, reading for you all this morning. All right. Angels of romance are swirling around your life at this time, ushering in positive, uplifting, and heartfelt experiences to remind you that love is real. Allowing yourself to be romanced, to receive and experience a true connection is important at this time. It is likely that your heart space is opening up and any barriers or shields that have been in place are falling away. If you find yourself scared or uptight about romance, know that this is not only a sign that you would like to experience it, but also that it is something that your energy system really needs. Aww. It's so good for you when you have safe, supported love. Your angels are guiding you to begin seeing yourself as loving and deserving of love. Know that you have so much goodness and light to offer others and the world. You're also being encouraged to know that the world wants to see you, to know you, and to understand your heart. All of this is only possible with your permission. Why not give it now? The energy of romance is increasing in your life. If you are already in a relationship, this could mean that you have an opportunity to connect more deeply and share intimacy and love. If your relationship hasn't been the main focus or priority of your heart for a while, your angels are encouraging you to make time for it. If you have a new relationship unfolding, or there's the potential for a new relationship to unfold, angels will help you move forward with it now. Call on divine love from the universe, invite it to open your heart, and then be willing to receive interest and love from others. Whatever the reason for this card appearing, this is a time to enjoy and be enjoyed in a loving way. Ooh, I see sparks. All right, Scorpio. I love it. It's time for love and romance. Why not, right? We're in Libra season. Looking good. I feel like you're heading straight for it. We got Cupid's arrows, things coming into balance. Your intuition is saying yes to this person. Sometimes we have to face the unknown, right? Uncertainty and move forward anyway, right? Try not to be afraid. This looks like something beautiful and new that has been delivered to you, right? By destiny. This is destined love and how much it can change your life. You're in your energy this month, Scorpio. It's going to be an amazing month for you. Let's look at this. I think that it's pale in comparison to some of your other experiences. For those of you, if this is a brand new person or relatively new, we'll say in the last 5 months or so, 5 or 6 months. All right. Ah, yes, it is. Three of Cups. It's a celebration and another wheel. I think it's time for you to enjoy your life. Enjoy the emotional outflow, right? Three of Cups is. It's like, woohoo, party time, right? Going through the milestones. Feels like you have the support of a lot of friends around this situation. Something's coming into balance for you. During Libra season, we have Justice at the bottom. Oh, another 8 of Wands. I'm telling you, Cupid's arrows. I think your heart is getting struck. All right? Enjoy it. Take care. Namaste, Scorpio.